Welcome to the William Mattar Thursday Night Lights, live on My TV Buffalo, presented by Stellar Roofing.
Coming to you live from Lancaster, New York, it's a postseason edition of Thursday Night Lights presented by the Law Office of William Mattar and Stellar Roofing right here on My TV Buffalo. It is a Class AA quarterfinal as the Niagara Falls Wolverines take on the Lancaster Legends. The winner faces the number 1 seed Bennett Tigers next week. And we welcome you inside the broadcast booth along with the coach, Scott Pilkey. I am Joe Krause, and Halloween is just around the corner, Scott, but we have a lot of tricks and treats set up in this one. These two teams faced off just 3 weeks ago, and now a spot to continue their season is on the line.
Well, you know, you've got two great coaches, and this is going to be a battle of quarterbacks tonight, and two very big and physical teams. It's going to be a good one to watch.
Yeah, let's take a look at our players to watch, starting with Niagara Falls. Michael Taylor, the senior quarterback, had his best start of the year when they faced the Legends in Week 6. A loss with 344 passing yards and 2 touchdown passes. He is looking to get his team going into the next round. But on the Lancaster side, it is the star running back, Daniel Ahern, closing in on 100 carries on the season, 12 rushing scores. He had 1 rushing score and 136 yards back in that Week 6 meeting. Okay, Scott, it is time now for our keys to the game, brought to you by Stellar Roofing, the best at what we do.
Well, Niagara Falls has to start out fast, put the pedal down, and they have to win the line of scrimmage. Lancaster has to establish the run, control the clock, and win the turnover battle.
And so when we come back, it is a Section 6 Class AA quarterfinal. The weather a factor in this one as well. Niagara Falls and Lancaster. It's coming up next on My TV Buffalo. And welcome back to Lancaster, New York. Get ready for the start of the Section 6 Class AA quarterfinal. The 4-seed Lancaster Legends hosting the number 5 Niagara Falls Wolverines, as you are taking a look right now at the coin toss. And Scott, we have a great crowd on hand for this postseason matchup. You've had experience yourself in the playoffs. It just feels different once we get to the playoffs. Is that fair to say?
Well, because it's do or die. You know, the seniors that are playing on either side of the ball, this could be their very last game. So, of course, not only is it the playoffs, but it's the legacy of, you know, this game that they already played once earlier. Now this one gets to go see Big Bad Bennett, and that's like, a nightmare and Halloween on its own next week, for whichever team wins tonight.
And let's take a look at our head coaches, starting with Don Bass on the Niagara Falls sideline. He has been at the helm at the varsity level since 2008, 59 wins, 103 losses. He was previously the JV head coach and offensive coordinator in the late 1990s into the 2000s. And on the Lancaster side, a former Lancaster player himself, former All-State linebacker Eric Rupp at the helm, 89 wins, 17 losses in 10 seasons at the helm. He's had a lot of success. His very first year in 2016, he ended what was a 17-year drought in terms of a sectional title. And since then, the Legends have been one of the best here in Western New York. Line drive kick from Lancaster to start this one. And it is picked up by the Wolverines, trying to get their way past the 25, and they do. The Wolverines, after the return from Armani Morris, takes the field first with the offense.
You're going to see some of the size guys that you have on this field right now are ridiculous. You're looking at the offensive line that you're going to see out here for Niagara Falls. They are just a tremendous-looking group. And you got number 4 coming out here, 1,440 yards, but he also has another clearly near 500 yards rushing. He is their offense, and they're lucky that he is back here healthy tonight.
You can see 77 completions coming into this one. He had his best performance of the season back in Week 6 against this same Legends team. A 42-28 loss, 344 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions as we get our first carry, but a flag is also on the field. We're about to hear from referee John Drobet.
Illegal shift on the offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Rest of our officiating crew, the umpire Edwin Streets, linesman William Simon, line judge Ken Thron, and the back judge is Mr. Bill Smith. And let's take a look at the starting offense, Scott, from Niagara Falls, brought to you by the law office of William Mattar. Daryl Smith, he has a Division I offer from Temple at the moment, the leading receiver, and Mike King Dalton's pretty good in the backfield as well.
Yeah, you look at a guy like Kevin Agee, who is 6'4", 295 pounds at the left tackle. That's going to be a great matchup on the defensive side of the ball against Agee tonight.
Taylor in the shotgun. He looks towards the near side. Pass complete. Making his way is Katino Woods, but he is brought down hard at the 27-yard line. We'll give credit on the tackle to Cole Notaro, the senior defensive back. Braden Klinger, in on the stop as well. A short gain for the Wolverines coming up on second down. As we take a look at the Lancaster defense, the defense has been pretty lethal. A lot of big bodies up front.
Yeah, they're a very talented group. As you saw there, speed is something that you sometimes assume that Niagara Falls is going to have, but when you look at what the Lancaster defense has done this year, they are just as fast, just as athletic on that edge, and you're going to see that be a big difference. They're in a 3-front now, shifting to a 3-4, and they keep mugging up and showing you that blitz.
2nd and 11 at the 28. It's a delayed handoff, and now here comes Mike King Dolson with a couple of yards and brought down quickly. Dolson, tied with Michael Taylor for a total of rushing scores with 6 touchdowns, and he's closing in on his 100th rush of the season, now 3 away, as he was brought down quickly. As we take a look again, a good run for a 5-yard gain, and 3rd and 6 coming up.
Manageable, and when you got a quarterback that's as athletic as Niagara Falls does, this is where you're going to see their quarterback, who is not only 1,440 yards passing, but he is also 440 yards rushing with 6 touchdowns. So I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the ball to here himself.
3 receivers on Taylor's right as he gets the snap. He looks towards his right. The pass is complete. Dolson with a little spin move, and he gets to the 40-yard line. A nice play from Mike King Dolson in the passing game. A good game.
Yeah, there was some good pressure, but when you take a look at what his motif is as an athlete, he stays in here. He doesn't panic. He stays in, takes a shot, delivers the ball exactly where it needs to be, out in the flats for a critical first down. Nice job.
7-yard passing play, good for a fresh set of downs. 12th catch of the year for Dolson, still looking for his first receiving score. It's now a fresh set, 1st and 10 for the Wolverines. The first down brought to you by Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. Taylor in the shotgun. He looks towards the near side. It is caught by Woods, brought down hard at the 45. A huge hit from Josh Okeke, listed as a 6'3", 185-pound linebacker. Woods recording his second catch here on this drive.
Well, Michael Taylor is doing a really nice job. He's taking what the defense has given him. They're sitting back in a cover 2. He's taking the 5 yards. It's as good as a run.
So a good pickup now, 2nd and 5. The Wolverines have already taken 3 minutes off the clock in this first quarter. Wolverines with Taylor in the shotgun. He looks to the outside, and it is incomplete. Karan McTeary was the intended receiver. It is incomplete.
Now you're back in your 3rd and manageable now. Obviously, the quarterback is a weapon on Niagara Falls' side of the ball. But what you're seeing here, and I'm interested to see what Lancaster does on the 3rd down. They've been giving the field side wide receiver about a 6 to 7 yard cushion, and all they need is 5. So I'm interested to see if they're going to walk up and press a little bit more, and in their coverage scheme so far.
Wolverines looking to convert their 2nd 3rd down on this opening drive. Taylor takes the snap, rolls to his right, he fires a fastball over the middle, and is caught. A huge play from the leading receiver, Daryl Smith. It is enough for another Wolverines first down, and Lancaster has an injured player.
We were talking about the crest on this field. It is a grass field. It's been raining pretty good. The drainage is fantastic. But what a tremendous, nice setup by throwing out, taking the 5, and then that vertical seam route was wide open. Tremendous drive so far for Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls now in Lancaster territory as the Legends have an injured player. We will step aside for a moment. We'll be right back right here on MyTV Buffalo. Welcome back. Taking a look at the last play, Daryl Smith making the catch, and then it was Ryan Hartwig who was shaken up, making the tackle, and now holding on to that shoulder. He is still being assisted by the athletic trainer and one of the Legends head coaches. 8:30 left in the first quarter. Niagara Falls got churning on offense thanks to the play of Michael Taylor.
Michael Taylor's 4 out of 5 in the opening drive. There was rumor before the game that he might still be banged up from earlier. He's playing as efficiently as I've seen him play all year long. And the wide receivers are on this field. They're utilizing the traction to their benefit. They're hitting the seam routes. The ball's getting out quick, minimizing the blitz that Lancaster has been bringing so far on this first series. Really clean series so far.
Michael Taylor now in his 3rd year as a varsity quarterback. A lot of success on the hardwood for Niagara Falls boys basketball and head coach Carlos Bradbury. Don Bass has been impressed with the growth from year to year with Taylor, who is in the shotgun. It's a pitch to the right. The pitch to Dolson. He is met right away at the line of scrimmage, brought down here by Dan Frank on the defensive line. A good stop from the Lancaster defense.
A pretty nice job. They changed their coverage to the boundary where they're giving it a cover 6 now. So they're trying to take away that backside. They're pressing the front side with a 3rd man coverage over the backside to the boundary side of the ball. Nice little adjustment. That's what you're going to see all day. Now your coaches are adjusting to the first opening drives, and we just saw for the first time Lancaster do what they've been doing all year, getting their people in 2nd and long situations.
3-yard loss, 2nd and 13 coming up. Daniel Nicoletti is the center on the offensive line for the Wolverines. As Taylor with 2 men in the backfield, back in the shotgun snap. He looks to his left now, tries to escape, and he is brought down hard by the Lancaster defense. Count that as a sack. Dan Frank once again applying that pressure.
And just like that, what you saw, what they were giving them in the very first series was the 5 or 6 yards. They came up and they're pressing, taking away that 5 or 6 yards, and they're covering deep. Great job by the secondary of Lancaster.
Legends now with 19 sacks on the season as the ball came out. Lancaster thought it was a fumble, but our officiating crew says that it is still Niagara Falls possession. Now facing 3rd and long on the Legends' 44-yard line. Taylor in the shotgun. 2 receivers on his left and right. McTeary spreads out. Taylor steps up in the pocket, tries to escape. He throws up the ball, but it is incomplete, and now a flag is coming in.
Might have crossed the line of scrimmage.
So this penalty will go against Niagara Falls.
Pass on the offense, lost it down, 4th down.
Well, that's an unfortunate situation. You know, they started out so well, and that's what's key in a game like today. If they stay on point, they are marching the ball down against a disciplined team like Lancaster. In order for Niagara Falls to win this game, they have to remain as disciplined as Lancaster.
So the special teams unit comes out for Niagara Falls. Nick Ligamari on the punt for the Wolverines. It's a short one, takes a bounce just past the 35. And the Lancaster offense, for the first time in the postseason on their home field, will start their first drive here on the 30-yard line.
You know, it's funny, we talk about, you know, the Lancaster Legends, and we were talking about the history, which I know you'll cover, but I have a lot of history with the Niagara Falls Board of Education. A couple of the guys that are on our staff right now, Shakur Moore and David Morgan, we saw before the game with Coach Bass. They played for us at Erie Community College. And Nicoletti that you talked about, his father, Mark Nicoletti, actually worked for me for many years. So it's really incredible to see the next generation of guys coming up and coaching and playing on the field. Yeah, I'm getting old, okay? I know.
Lancaster with their first drive on offense. Matt King, the star quarterback, as we just showed you his stats. First down counter run. Picking this up, going to the outside is Colton Schaefer. Knocked out of bounds, but a flag is thrown.
Both teams start off their very first offensive play with flags. And, you know, it takes a minute for everybody to settle in.
Good sign to see Matt King back in the lineup. He faced an injury back in week 7.
Illegal formation, 5 in the backfield on the offense. The penalty is declined. 2nd down.
Matt King, he was banged up. Left for about a quarter against Bennett in week 7. He was dealing with a shoulder injury. Head coach Jack Rupp said that Matt is starting to get back to full strength and in the lineup here. As it's now 2nd and 13. It's a pitch to the left and a couple of yards and going. Niagara Falls was ready for that run play.
Well, Niagara Falls is showing you great penetration right now. I promise you that with the Lancaster coaching staff, you're going to see a screen here. You're going to see some type of power that's going to come in and kick it out, especially with the top quality running back that they have. And our guy here that we're supposed to be paying attention to, number 34. You know, Ahern is just a tough runner.
Yeah,
exactly. Just like
yes.
that, coach makes they're coming upfield, we're going to go where they're not. And that's exactly why they're the consummate professional development team that you see in Western New York. Great feeder program, great quarterbacks, and the kids know the game.
And now some movement in the trenches after Colton Schaefer made the last catch.
Part of the snap. Good. Schmidt on the defense, 5-yard penalty. penalty results in a first down.
So both teams with a penalty tonight, and it'll be a first down. Brought to you by Interstate Batteries. Let's take a look at the Lancaster offense. Colton Schaefer, the leading receiver, 6 touchdown passes on the season. A lot of veterans on the offensive line as Ahern gets the carry to the 45. Lancaster graduated 35 seniors a year ago. Some movement coming into the year. And from week 1 now into week 9, it's a totally different team with Lancaster getting back to their old ways.
Well, what you saw in that last drive, they took to replace where the pressure was coming. Then that multi-level coaching, you saw them go on 2, which drew the penalty.
Here
now they stretch it and go downtown.
Ball,
Woo.
incomplete, as looks like Matt King was looking for the sophomore Everett Fix. Fix listed at 6'4".
Holding on the defense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot results in a first down.
So with the penalty, Lancaster now on the move in another Interstate Batteries first down.
Well, you're seeing the tempo, the change of the count cadence, and they're already starting from upstairs to see where they got to go next. Very well coached football team.
So with the penalty, Lancaster continues its drive. 1st and 10 on the Niagara Falls 44-yard line. Here is the handoff to Ahern. Goes through the traffic and then is able to get the dive forward close to the 40. A heads-up play on defense from Bradley Miller, one of the top linebackers, number 10 tonight for the Wolverines, right in there to make the stop after a 4-yard gain. As we now take a look at the Wolverines starting defense, Billy Brass on the defensive line, and Armani Morris with a team-high 4 interceptions at the linebacker spot. He has been one of their top players. As we get to the next play, Ahern goes up the middle, spins away, still on his feet, past the 35, and gets close to that first down marker. It is enough for a first down for Lancaster, brought to you by, once again, Interstate Batteries.
There's a many-layered approach here that Coach is taking on against Niagara Falls. You're seeing a lot of motion, a lot of misdirection, but the consistency of the run play is the A-gap center cylinder run, whether it's an ISO or it's an inside zone.
1st and 10 to the 34. It's a handoff to Ahern again. Makes his way past the 30 and then brought down by a host of Wolverines. As getting a little shaken up is McTeary after making the stop. It was a good short run. So 2nd down coming up, and let's send it downstairs to Tyler Miller. Tyler?
The semifinal game against top seed Bennett is on the line tonight. Lancaster won the regular season matchup 42-28 in a battle of these two teams, but it was only a 7-point game at halftime. Daniel Ahern, 136 yards and a touchdown in that game, and he powers this Lancaster offense that leads AA in scoring. They're averaging over 30 points per game, and they've scored 40 or more points 5 times this year. But it's a battle of both of these quarterbacks coming in, both a little bit banged up, but both of these guys have over 1,000 yards passing this season. Jason and Bradley Miller defensively, both top 10 in Section 6 in tackles for loss, and this Niagara Falls team is 85 TFLs. And they're going to have to tackle Ahern in the backfield to have success defensively tonight. Joe, Scott, back to you in the booth.
Thank you very much, Tyler. It was a short run that leads to another penalty against the Wolverines as Matt King went airborne, taken down by Lucas Miller. But the flag coming in, and now it'll be 1st and 10 for the Legends at the Wolverines' 12-yard line. Lancaster is in the red zone for the first time tonight. Here is the snap. It is Ahern going upfield, spins his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Daniel Ahern from 12 yards out, our first touchdown tonight, brought to you by ECMC. Go where the Bills go.
Ahern is definitely the heartbeat of that. Everything that's built around him, the misdirection, the read zone, the tight end leading up on the ISO or in the counter play. And that right there, you saw a great little changeup because as you start focusing on Ahern, they pull, the quarterback pulls it, Matt King jumps up in the air, draws a big-time penalty that puts him in a position to score and go up 7-0.
And the extra point is up and good. The Lancaster Legends strike first. Lancaster with a big rushing score from their senior running back, Daniel Ahern, from 12 yards out. 2:16 to go left in the first quarter. Lancaster leads Niagara Falls 7-0. As a longtime voice Mark Pavada just said, "Burn, baby, burn." Dan Ahern to the house. We'll be right back. Lancaster strikes first, 7-0 lead over Niagara Falls. Daniel Ahern with a 12-yard score, his 13th rushing score of the season. Niagara Falls looking for a couple bounces, and now here is Morris on the return. Makes his way past the 40, right to the 41-yard line with 2:10 left in this first quarter.
Now, Niagara Falls has to start out the way they did. Take what the defense is giving you, and hopefully upstairs they've seen the adjustment from the cover 2, where they've been given a lot of cushion, down to the cover 6. And if they can do that, what you're going to do there is you're going to get the back out of the backfield, because if they're covering the 2 wide receiver side, no one's on the running back coming out of the backfield.
Niagara Falls had a good opening drive that ended right at just past midfield, as here's the handoff to Dolson. He gets to the 45, and then it's stopped. We'd like to take a quick moment to thank tonight's food sponsor, Smokin' Little Diner, located at 4870 Broadway. Call 716-683-9248 or visit www.thesmokinglittlediner.com.
Well, you saw a great, you're going to see that they're going to try to overpower the speed and quickness of Lancaster with this brand new look. You're looking out of a loaded backfield, a power I to the right-hand side. They're not even lying to you. They're just telling you, we're running it right here. Nice job that time by Lancaster, keeping it a short game.
And Braden Klinger right in the heart of that pile for the Legends once again. Klinger second on the team in tackles coming into tonight with 58, along with 3 sacks, a pick, and 1 fumble recovery. It was only a 1-yard gain for Dolson, and now Scott is 3rd and 4, a big third down coming up.
Well, I think even when you're talking about the percentages, what you got out of the last punt, this might even be 4-down territory, believe it or not, this early in the game, because if you don't get the first down here and you give it right back to Lancaster, the way they're moving the ball right now, this could make for a long game.
And the pass to the outside is incomplete. Smith appeared to be the intended receiver on the play. And now 4th and short coming up. Niagara Falls currently at the 47-yard line. Niagara Falls head coach, when Don Bass, when we got to ask how has the season gone so far, he described it as a roller coaster. The Wolverines have had some big games. They only lost to Bennett by 5 in week 1, and then a couple big wins early on in the season, including in close games. But for the second time, the Wolverines have to punt. It's a great punt this time from Ligamari, a multi-sport athlete for the Wolverines, and now Lancaster takes over. And before we get to our next play, tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Buffalo Fresh Roof. So the Wolverines with 2 drives have to punt. Lancaster's second drive coming up.
Well, what you are seeing in Lancaster's offense is a multi-layered attack. It's predicated by tempo, predicated by an inside run, predicated by a lot of misdirection, and a little Q run off of it right now. They're really dictating the tempo of the game. They're doing a great job in the opening first quarter.
QB keeper with Everett Fix on the carry. He crosses the 20-yard line. Sophomore made a couple big plays a couple weeks ago against Bennett. He has been a little bit of everything, Mr. Everything for Lancaster, and that time he gets the draw as we have reached the last 15 seconds of this first quarter. Everett Fix with 3 receiving touchdowns as well as 3 rushing scores as the Legends get another big play all the way up to the 35-yard line. Colton Schaefer with another reception, and that concludes our first quarter of play. The Lancaster Legends strike first over Niagara Falls 7-0. We'll be right back on My TV Buffalo. And coming up, stay tuned for the UB Bulls halftime show. UB Bulls football, family, affordable fun. We'll showcase our Athletic Associates Center Scholar athletes presented by Dr. Todd Shackett. Take a look at all the highlights across the country and first half highlights and more. Again, that is the UB Bulls halftime show. Start of the second quarter. 1st and 10 Legends from the 35. King with the deep ball. It is just off the fingertips of his top target tonight, Colton Schaefer.
This is just a well-built play. 2 wide receivers to the right. And, you know, what you're watching here is down at the bottom of the screen, they are really utilizing the field. They're at the top of the numbers. This is a classic spread offense. Nice job with the pass pro. Perfect spiral. And it's almost, you can't throw the ball better than that.
King and Schaefer have connected for 6 touchdowns on the season. A short pass this time. Connected with Aiden Banks to the outside. Banks with now his 26th catch of the year and 5 touchdown passes. It's a nice mix of the offense, some running plays, and then going through the air.
This is pretty pivotal down here for Niagara Falls. This is the first time they've had him in a 3rd and moderate, 3rd and long. And
King fires. It is caught by Schaefer. Able to get a big first down before he is hit hard there by Niagara Falls, the defender Bradley Miller. It's an Express Windows first down. Now installing Windows as low as $329 within 5 to 6 weeks.
This is when you know the quarterback is coached. He knew right where to go immediately. There's no hesitation. Snap and sling it, and that's part of this offense. Get rid of the ball fast. Extend everybody out like they're doing. They got 2 to the bottom of the field. You can't even see them on camera, and then you run the ball up inside. Tremendous play call. The offense is clicking exactly the way they planned it for this game so far.
Daniel Ahern with a big run to the Wolverines 45, but a flag was thrown. Quick discussion between the officials.
There is no foul for hurdling on the play. No foul for hurdling on the play.
So no foul after Ahern went airborne. As we take a look again, Pretty nice leap from Ahern.
Well, we had the same type of thing earlier, though, with the Lancaster quarterback, and we had a penalty called. You shouldn't be able to leave your feet like that. I understand there's no penalty, but that does put the running back in jeopardy for those big hits when you leave your feet like that. So,
Ahern able to get another short gain. Second down, check that first down coming up, brought to you by Express Windows. Legends starting to find some success in the ground game. 1st and 10 at the Wolverines' 40-yard line. King in the shotgun. It's another handoff to Ahern. Finds his way to the outside, still on his feet. Going inside the 10, the 5, touchdown Lancaster. Daniel Ahern with his second touchdown, but a flag is back at around the line of scrimmage.
Really,
on the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So the touchdown no good for Mr. Ahern.
but what you're starting to see now is where they use the tight end to come back in on an ISO. You're now seeing they're bringing the outside tackle. I believe if we see the replay, bring the outside tackle back up into the A gap. And aside from the holding, great job coming up on the inside on the counter. It's a great all-around physical play. Unfortunately, ended up in a penalty. Excellent run.
So 1st and 15 coming up for Lancaster. 22nd all-time meeting between Lancaster and Niagara Falls. Legends have won 17 of those as Ahern slides his way past the 40 to the 38. And then he is brought down. Once again, another tackle for McTeary, who is shaken up again. 6-yard gain, 2nd and 9 coming up. Under 10 minutes left in this first half. Only a one-score game so far. Well, these two teams met back in week 6. Lancaster had a 28-21 lead at the half. Scored twice in the second half for that 42-28 victory. As the Wolverine defense was ready that time, Jason Miller leading the charge.
Gavin Smith, number 62 for Lancaster. He's only 11th grade, but he stands at 6 feet, 270 pounds. He is a really tough kid. There is there's some really nice battles moving on the inside. That time, great pressure and great hustle by Niagara Falls. That's the first time they've stopped Lancaster for a yard loss.
Chase Lowry and the Wolverines looking to get this stop. It is 3rd and 12 as Matt King looks to the sideline, looks at Coach Rupp and longtime quarterback coach Brian Wilds, as King looks to the outside, makes the throw. It is incomplete. Broken up in the secondary. Heads up play by Christian Palmer, representing the senior class at 4th down coming up.
And Christian Palmer does it on both sides of the ball for him. You know, he's a slot receiver with 15 catches, 342 yards. And this was a great job.
Heads up play by Palmer. Could be a nominee for school bus stop of the game. Find out in the 4th quarter. But we announce the school bus stop of the game presented by NHTSA. Legends now in punt formation, 4th down. And here is a nice punt from Matt King. Takes a bounce, 2 bounces, and the Legends are able to keep this inside the 5-yard line. We'll step aside as well. 8:33 left in the second quarter. Lancaster leads Niagara Falls 7-0. You are watching the law office of William Matar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing. And tonight's closed captioning is provided by Buffalo Fresh Roof. So a great special teams play from Matt King pins the Wolverines back on their own 4-yard line. Niagara Falls get ready for its third drive on offense.
Yeah, starting back down here, you can't have the mental mistakes they've had on the first drive, which essentially set Lancaster up for their first score. Now you've got to reestablish the run. I think you've got to run your quarterback a little bit because Lancaster is doing a really great job on staying home, and they're playing tough up front.
Wolverines now with 2 receivers on Taylor's left as Taylor rolls out, fires to the outside, and it is incomplete. Looking for Christian Palmer. So second down coming up. Christian Palmer coming into the matchup, 15 catches as well as 3 scores. As we take a look again.
We talked about the footwork on this grass field today, and it just looks like as fast as that young man is running, it just looks like it took a step out of him. Actually, it was a pretty nice throw. Good pass pro down there by Niagara Falls on the O-line.
Taylor takes the snap, rolls out to his left. Taylor gets out to the outside and then steps out, forced out just shy of the 10-yard line. Joshua KK, the closest defender, as third down comes up.
Well, I think what you just saw by him running, he doesn't look like he's at 100%. But again, neither one of these quarterbacks are. Both of them are playing because this is the senior game. This is a 80 yards, 480 attempts, 445 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Him at his best is as big of a threat as anybody else that they have running the football.
He had 2 of those rushing scores back in week 3 against Niagara Wheatfield. That was also a nail-biter, 28-18 victory over the Falcons. Niagara Falls now facing 3rd and 7 on their 7, and now we have some whistles before the ball is snapped. A timeout called by Lancaster with 8:14 to go in the second quarter.
I remember back when I was first starting out as a college coach, we look at Niagara Falls and we've been talking about their athletes. I remember a guy named James Starks who played quarterback at Niagara Falls back in the day that would run around like crazy before he came to the University of Buffalo, where he obviously became an NFL champion and Super Bowl winner. But that's what's so storied about these two teams. What do you know about Lancaster that nobody else knows about?
Well, Lancaster, a lot of success in football and as well as baseball a couple of years ago, but Lancaster has been one of the cream of the crops in Western New York. So many players, including current Buffalo Bill Joe Andreessen, who is off to a good start with the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Joe, as they like to call him.
I'm very lucky because I get to recruit a lot of the Western New York talent, and I remember when Joe was coming up and he was getting a lot of D3 looks, but there was just something about him when he was, playing. He was just on a different level of intensity. I'm really happy to see how he's done well, and he's a champion in his hometown of Lancaster. I can tell you that much, and a legend already.
3rd and 7 for Niagara Falls, 8:14 to go. Here is the snap. Taylor going for a deep ball again. It is caught by Darryl Smith. Going to the 40, to the 30. No one is around him. And it is going to be a touchdown for the Niagara Falls Wolverines from 93 yards out. It's a touchdown brought to you by Kaleida Health, the official healthcare provider of the Buffalo Bills. The Wolverines with the home run play.
Well, they brought the blitz from the outside. Look, that's a great throw and catch, but right now you've got to give credit to that right side of the offensive line that held up. The quarterback stays in the pocket and delivers it on the money. They've thrown 3 of those balls, and that's the first one that was on point. You know they're going to continue to go back to that because they see something, and they've gone to it 3 times now.
Give credit to Jaden Eden, the right guard, and Ethan Bullard, the right tackle, as the Wolverines now look to set up the extra point attempt. The kick is up, and it is blocked by the Lancaster Legends. Our score stands Legends in front of the Wolverines 7-6 as Daryl Smith, who has received some Division I looks so far, including from Temple, 93-yard score. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back to Lancaster, a one-point contest. Daryl Smith with his 9th touchdown catch of the season. This time from 93 yards out, marking his longest catch of the season as well. The extra point no good, but we have ourselves a one-point contest as David Guarano ready to kick. Guarano sends this high and is returned on the near side by Lancaster, making his way through the host of players. Aiden Banks gets up to the Legends 40-yard line.
Nice field position here, but what you're going to see now is a change in the tempo, because if Niagara Falls can score like that, you don't want to put the ball back in their hands. You want a nice long drive here. Put this back on your top running back. Little misdirection, go back to where you were and run the clock out if you can over the next 7 minutes, so you take it in 7-6 or 14-6, whatever it is. I think you're going to see him slow it down here a little bit. Little check with me going on. Up, penalty.
Don't forget
on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Don't forget, coming up, the UB Bulls halftime show will break down the highlights of the first half. Introduce our Athletic Associate Center Scholar athletes, presented by Dr. Todd Shakin, and so many highlights from our Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals series across the country, as that'll be great to see at halftime, and the Wolverines able to stop Daniel Ahern on that last run.
They're getting really good penetration. You see a new spirit, a new light in Niagara Falls, the way they're playing, and hey, their quarterback has a great arm. They've got a Division I wide receiver to throw it to in Daryl Smith. You're going to see that the rest of the night, I can promise you.
2nd and 15. Lancaster with an empty backfield. King sends to the outside. It's caught by Ahern. Moves past one man. Goes down the sideline. Still on his feet past the 45. And knocked down from behind at the 46-yard line. Lucas Miller on the stop. A good passing play for the Lancaster Legends, a gain of 11, and this will set up 3rd and 4 for Lancaster.
Yeah, really nice play, well defended. I mean, Lancaster is going to get yards, but this is a good job by the Wolverines of bending but not breaking. And you're starting to see some variations in their fronts, so they're doing a nice job keeping it steady, bringing the pressure consistently, losing a little containment there.
Here's the pass. It is caught by Ahern on the near sideline inside the Niagara Falls 25-yard line. Matt King rolling out, and it's enough for an Express Windows first down.
I mean, Ahern can get it done at any level right now, because he's able to run the ball. They're able to get him outside. He's a great athlete all around. Their quarterback's not bad either, is he?
Matt King coming into tonight completing 64.5% of his passes. He has been on a roll in this first half. 1st and 10 to the Wolverines 23. Ahern goes up the gut, gets to the outside, gets some help from the right side of his offensive line. Good another run before brought down by Lucas Miller.
Lancaster is back on schedule with their offense, the misdirection. Now you're starting to see most coaches come out with the first 15 plays that they're going to do, build the concepts in. The same play, look in 2 or 3 different ways, and Lancaster's already into their third variation of the same plays they've been using successfully all night long, like the inside run.
Ahern goes up the middle as Lancaster is in inside the Willoughby Insurance Red Zone. Willoughby will when nobody will, as Ahern goes up the middle again. And we got a chance to talk with Eric Rupp earlier this week, and he talked about the offensive line of Ethan Ludwig and Gavin Smith, the left tackle, left guard, Santiago Silva at center, Braden Campbell at right guard, Cole Silvestri at right tackle, and Tyler Santiago getting in the offensive line as well as Ahern gets closer to the red zone. Lancaster, some pretty big bodies up front, able to keep the chains moving.
Well, they're really good at the tempo. Again, this is another. They bring the outside tackle back into the box. They're basing to the weak side of the field, and they've had success with this play all evening so far. Again, you're seeing a counter tray. This time it's a Q keep.
Matt King is brought down. Wolverines are indicating that they have the football, and they do. It is a fumble recovery from Niagara Falls. That has been one of the strengths for the Niagara Falls defense all season. 13th fumble recovery of the year, and the Wolverines take over inside their own 10.
Now you'd think that being down inside your 10-yard line like this is something that Niagara Falls can overcome. I promise you're going to see the same kind of play calls that took them 94 yards on that last touchdown.
So the fumble recoveries, we take a look again as Matt King was the ball carrier. And a heads-up play from Bradley Miller, number 10, making the huge scoop for the Wolverines. His 4th fumble recovery of the season. Miller right on top. Wolverines take over. 1st and 10 from their 10. They go to the outside, about a 3-4 yard gain before the Wolverines are stopped by King Dolson on the carry. Cole Urban on the tackle for Lancaster.
You're starting to see the size of the offensive line on both sides of the ball. If it's not for the turnover, the offensive line on both sides are starting to become the dominant factor so that their top players can actually have the time to perform. And if it wasn't for a fumble down here, Lancaster would probably be in the end zone by now. But let's see what Niagara Falls can do with a second opportunity to come back and go ahead in this game.
2nd and 6 from the 14. Taylor is brought down. Give credit on the sack from the Lancaster Legends. Tim Kopaz, who has been a lethal threat on the defensive line for the Legends, now his 6th sack of the season.
Well, you've got to remember not to get greedy down here, too, because if you're looking downfield, you're missing the guys that are open underneath. And that's what they've got to get back to. If they can match up what they did in the first series along with the long ball, take what they give you, and when they come up to stop that, then you go long.
So with the loss, it's now a 3rd and long scenario for Niagara Falls once again. Taylor in the shotgun. He looks over the middle. It is a low pass, incomplete. McTerry was the intended receiver, and 4th down coming up for the Wolverines after the defense made the big stop.
Nice adjustments by Lancaster's defense in just that one series to another. They took away the long ball at that time alone. They had 5 guys in the box, and that's traditionally you're going to let them run it in that 3rd and 7 situation to take away the big pass. Great job by the defensive coordinator and staff all together.
Nick Ligamari back in punt formation. Aiden Banks on the return for Lancaster. It's a trick play. It goes to the outside. It is caught to the open man. Charles Kanji gets to the 35 and to the 40. A big-time run for the Wolverines, but a flag is on the field. Little trickery from the Wolverines and Coach Bass.
Receiver downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
What a great call. I mean, like we talked about, you're not playing next week. You're playing to play next week. So tremendous call by Coach Bass. Unfortunately,
So ineligible against the setter.
well, that's what that is. That's a check call. with the punter, and the center snapped it back, but that's either punt it or throw it away or go for it, and unfortunately the center wasn't in on the check call.
So the Wolverines will try again as Ligamari on the punt, line drive punt, spinning out of bounds just past the 40. So Lancaster taking over in Niagara Falls territory with 2:58 to go. Tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Buffalo Fresh Rough. Both teams with a lot of history in terms of athletics. Lancaster Legends football began all the way back in 1919. City of Niagara Falls has had a lot of different iterations of football for a long time. In the late 20th century, it was the LaSalle Explorers and the Niagara Falls Power Cats. Then the two schools merged to become the current Niagara Falls High School at the start of this century, as Coach Bass has been witness to the entire Wolverines run. But gotta go back, a lot of success over the years, including in the mid-70s at LaSalle. They went 14-1-1 in the 1975 and 76 seasons. We mentioned about James Starks already, a lot of big players on both sides historically. As 2nd and 8 to the near side, it is caught. Schaefer gets to the outside to the 25, and then he is brought down hard. A big tackle from Daryl Smith.
Well, you know, for me, Niagara Falls is very important because we used to work, our family business worked for Niagara Falls Board of Education, and I used to coach some semi-pro and some Little League, but my first actual coaching job was at Niagara Falls and in 2000, and then I got into the staff at Erie Community College later that year. But it's always been a real great place in my heart, and I'm glad to see them doing well tonight.
King rolls out to his right. King on the run, going for the deep ball. It is incomplete towards the parking lot, and 2nd down coming up.
You know, that's a great job by that young man. You don't have anything. You're not 100%. Don't pull it down. Don't run it. Get rid of the football and live to play another day. Or another play, for that matter. And another day.
Taking a look at the total stats so far. Lancaster pretty even in the passing and rushing departments. 2nd and 10 coming up at the 24 of Niagara Falls. King in the shotgun. He looks to his left and steps up on the run, slides down, gets to the 21-yard line. So 3rd and 7 coming up under 2 minutes to play.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they go for it on the 4th down. We were watching the kicker, the special teams on both in the beginning. It's a little wet out there. They were having some, foot placement issues early on. But here you are at 3rd and 7.
King steps up, and he is ripped down hard by the Niagara Falls defense. We'll give credit to Billy Brass on the stop, and now 4th down coming up.
I guess that answers my question. They're going for it on 4th and 8. Watch for a cadence because they've been getting them to jump.
Colin Schlesinger is on the sideline. He is the Legends kicker this season. And now a timeout called by the Lancaster Legends. 2nd timeout called by Lancaster here in this half.
Good credit to the defensive front line watching the football that time. They got him earlier. And now this time there was a check with me where they give him a hard count. Then the team looks over to the sideline for the play. Coach didn't have the look that he wanted. Intelligently uses the timeout and is going to come in with the perfect play.
Great crowd on hand tonight. Lancaster Legends supporting their football team once again. Already with a grand total of 8 Section 6 championships going back to 1988. Brian Wilds, we mentioned his name already. The quarterback's coach, stepping down, retiring after 33 years of coaching. He was the quarterback on that team, and fellow assistant coach Dave Menzel, also a part of that group. Back to the action here, 4th and 9 at the 23. Matt King rolls out to his right. He fires, it is incomplete, just out of the reach of his receiver that time, Everett Fix. It's a turnover on downs with 1:01 left to play.
That's a really great series for Niagara Falls. They've put a couple things together here. You're looking at the rollout, and it's just the quarterback. He could have set up just a little bit more, taken a little bit more time. But that, hey, great job by Niagara Falls. Now let's see, they got a minute left to go. And again, you've got Taylor. You got a great quarterback with a great arm and an offensive line that has been holding up. They've given up 2 sacks so far, but that's because the quarterback was holding the ball for too long. So the Niagara Falls O-line is doing a really great job tonight.
So Niagara Falls returns to the field. Approaching the last minute of play in the first half of the Section 6 Class AA quarterfinal. Joe Kraus, Scott Pilkey, Tyler Millen on the sideline, and the entire gang with you tonight on Thursday Night Lights as Taylor evades the pressure, throws to the near side. It is caught by Smith, and he is met hard just shy of the 35-yard line. Cole Nataro on the tackle. And now a timeout taken by the Wolverines. As we take a look again, Michael Taylor through the traffic once again.
Michael Taylor has a lot of poise back there, doesn't he? I mean, he's a very natural guy. Doesn't seem like he's rushing anything. Even when he sets his feet, makes a great throw out to the flats. It would have been nice if they could have gotten out of bounds. But that's a great operation by that young man. He's really showing me some stuff tonight. This is the best I've seen Niagara Falls play all season long.
So 46 seconds left in the second quarter. Tyler Millen will talk with the winning coach at halftime. So 46 seconds to go. 2nd and 1. Play coming up for the Wolverines, and head coach Don Bass impressed with how Michael Taylor has done. As you just said, Scott, he's more confident. He's trusting his eyes more and just seeing the field a little bit more. And now he faces 2nd and 1.
This is the best Niagara Falls O-line I've seen in a very long time. They're very well coached. They're physical.
Here is the snap. 3 to the left as Taylor is pressured from behind and is sacked. Brought down by a pair of legends on the play, including Tim Kopaz in on the stop once again.
Well, what you do is a guy like Kopaz, they did a really nice job. The furthest guy to the outside was taken by the left tackle. Kopaz is the bigger of the two players, and the passing scheme or the pass pro had a running back on a guy the size of Topaz. That was not the matchup that they were looking for. At 6'4", 220 pounds, that's a guy that you got to have that matchup with all day, and you don't want the running back blocking one of your biggest defensive ends in Western New York.
So both teams now with 1 timeout apiece. Head coach Don Bass in the middle of the huddle. Longtime staff with him. So 37 ticks left to go in this first half. Niagara Falls coming into the contest averaging 19.5 points per game on offense. Taylor with 1 man in the backfield, 3 receivers on his right. Taylor looks towards his left. He fires off his back foot. It is caught. Wolverines able to make their way past the 40, close to midfield, still getting some real nice play right there from Mike King Dolson.
Now that's a great job. I mean, you got 3 to the wide side. You hit it out of the backfield. He looks off to the right, and then he just a little winch back into his running back out of the backfield. Great job. Great play call by Niagara Falls.
Wolverines now the fresh set of downs. The ball spotted at the Lancaster 47-yard line. Dolson with a few big plays in the backfield, and then able to make the catch on the outside so far in this half. Taylor is in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the right once again. Taylor takes the snap. He looks, spins to his left. Taylor throws downfield. It is incomplete. More pressure from that Lancaster defense, and right there once again, Tim Kopetz.
Well, we're talking about the maturity of both of these quarterbacks. Right there, you see the poise. He rolls out, gets outside the tackle box. He doesn't have anybody, so he throws the ball away rather than taking the sack. That's a really good, really great awareness by that young man. Are they getting him? Nope. Okay. Good work. See him turn out like that, and I believe wasn't 44 Joe Andreessen's number when he played here? So that was great pressure by another 44.
And now it's 2nd and long. 19 seconds to go. Taylor takes the snap. Looks towards the outside. It is caught. And check that Charles Kanji had the catch. And timeout was called by the Wolverines. So Kanji with the first catch, his first tonight. And Wolverines are now out of timeouts. The ball now spotted. 3rd and 6 at the Niagara Falls 43.
Got one shot here. Max Pro. Get your best guys downfield. Put it up. Tubner's been playing a nice game so far. You know, we talk about the pressure that's got to be on a young man to wear that jersey of a living legend. That's probably a pretty high honor if you think about it.
Tubner coming in to tonight with 51 tackles and 1 sack. 3rd on the team in tackles.
And he's only a junior.
Yes.
You know, he's only a junior, and he might be the next guy. Who knows?
3rd and 6. Niagara Falls coming up to the line of scrimmage. As you can see at the bottom of your screen, Katino Woods is on the outside. 2 receivers all the way on Taylor's left. Taylor drops back to pass against the double team. Fires up a deep ball to the outside. It is incomplete, and a flag does come in. Daryl Smith was the intended receiver.
It's a good call. Definitely a good call. It's one of the things that, you know, that's what you hope for. If you're not going to get the catch, you at least want to draw a penalty. And with Lancaster's heels basically back, you know, so
Pass interference on the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot results in a first down.
1 play left. Just a little bit too much physicality down there, but you know what? It's something that the DB had to do, because that ball was thrown well enough for the wide receiver to come back and get it.
So Niagara Falls with an opportunity, 1st and 10 at the Lancaster 28-yard line. Wolverines currently trailing by just 1.7 to 6. Taylor in the shotgun. He takes the snap. He rolls to his right. Taylor on the run, looking for the deep ball to the near side. It is incomplete. Cole Nataro on defense to knock it away. And our halftime score stands Lancaster in front of Niagara Falls 7-6 in a Section 6 Class AA quarterfinal. Scott, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I think that really both teams are playing great football. You're seeing it's a battle of coaches. It's a battle of athletes. It's a battle down in the trenches. And I just think this is one of the better halves of football we've seen on the Thursday night lights so far. You can tell that it's playoff football because both offenses have been very well called. Both offenses have been very well called. But the best part is you're seeing great adjustments by the coaching staffs. And so that's what I really love about this. You're seeing just great calls by Coach Rupp and his staff and great adjustments by Niagara Falls.
And let's send it down to the sideline. Tyler Millen is with Eric Rupp. Tyler?
Coach, you've been able to generate a lot of pressure on their quarterback. What's impressed you about the defensive front?
Yeah, they're just being relentless right now. Coach is doing a good job mixing up with a lot of zone blitzes. We got to stay on him. He's a dynamic athlete.
Part of that is preventing big plays. How do you do that in the second half?
Yeah, we just got to keep everything in front of us. Easier said than done. They have a lot of speed and a lot of talent over there, but we can't let anybody get behind us.
Coach, like a second half. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Tyler. As half number 1 is in the books, Lancaster leads Niagara Falls 7-6. Daniel Ahern, the rushing score, and then a 93-yard play. Michael Taylor to Daryl Smith. A 1-point game. We'll be right back with more action right here on MyTV Buffalo.
You're watching the UB Bulls Halftime Report.
And welcome back here in Lancaster, New York. The Legends on top of the Niagara Falls Wolverines 7-6 at halftime. And now it's time, brought to you by Dr. Todd Shakin from the Athletic Associates Center, to present the Thursday Night Lights Athletic Associates Scholar Athlete of the Week. And we have 2 of them here tonight, starting with from Niagara Falls, Tori Frank with a 97.65 GPA. Tori is a scholar athlete for Niagara Falls, and her athletic achievements include being a league and school record holder in the 6-foot and 11-foot dive. Tori is also a member of the National Honor Society and an AP Scholar Award winner. Her community involvement includes being a volunteer for Habitat for Humanity. And tonight from the Lancaster Legends, it is Matthew King, who has a 4.0 GPA. His athletic achievements include being the captain of the football and baseball teams. Matthew is also a member of the Lancaster Business Honor Society, and his community involvement includes being active with the Our Lady of Pompeii Church. Both Tori and Matthew are now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to the Athletic Associates Scholar Athletes of the Week. Once again, it is halftime. The Lancaster Legends on top of the Niagara Falls Wolverines 7-6. We'll be right back after this short break on MyTV Buffalo.
You're watching the UB Bulls Halftime Report.
Hey, welcome back. Lancaster on top of Niagara Falls, 7-6. And now it's time each week during halftime of our Friday Night Rivals broadcast and Thursday night series as well. We'll be showcasing outstanding game highlights from across the country. Here's some of the best from last week's games.
The best Thursday night lights and Friday night Rivals highlights from across the country.
He's going to heave it deep right down the middle of the field and going up to get the football. Did he come down with the football?
Yes,
he did.
Sir.
What a catch right there from Colleen Taylor.
Alan Moore with pressure on the backside and swoop. That ball's on the ground and picked up. This is going to be a scoop and score. Jaden Millhouse to the house. LANCASTER.
Downfield, intercepted. It's going to be picked off by Holmes. Here he comes to the near side, and Holmes trying to pick up blocks. Cuts it back the other way. Holmes still on his feet. Holmes, will it be a pick six? Yes, it will.
Fade to the end zone, trying to make the one-handed catch. Tremendous effort over there by Isaiah Ivey. Call it a touchdown.
That was 4th and 10. Chased out of the pocket. Launches it down the field. And it is caught. It's a touchdown.
Oh, my goodness.
What in the world?
Playmaking ability from Fort.
Peachy to the end zone. Touchdown.
Oh, my
The
goodness.
final play of the game. What a moment.
Got your way. QB sneak wins the game. That's a fitting end of the season, don't you think?
All of the emotions.
And a lot of big highlights as we take a look. It's getting a little spooky here as Lancaster on top of Niagara Falls, 7-6. We'll be right back after this short break.
You're watching the UB Bulls Halftime Report.
And welcome back at halftime. A good look at the Russell J. Salvatore Fieldhouse, a 1-point game. Joe Kraus, Scott Pilkey, and the gang with you as we take a look at the first half highlights. Couple big scoring plays, and only a 1-point game here.
Well, this is just a tremendous run. Look at the balance. Bounces off of a couple guys. He has had a great first half. Ahern is everything that they've promoted him to be. He's going to be a great college player.
Niagara Falls able to respond. 93-yard pass play. Michael Taylor to Daryl Smith, already with some Division I offers, including from Temple going in. But the extra point play blocked by the Lancaster special teams. It is now a 7-6 Lancaster advantage as we start the second half. But Here's our first half stats. So you can see 160 total yards each, and it's dead even. But you can see the difference here and how it's getting done.
Yeah, well, you look at the critical difference right now is the penalty yards. Really, that's what it comes down to it. Because had Niagara Falls played a really disciplined second quarter, but that first series, they had 3 critical penalties that took Lancaster down. Lancaster has not been on their side of the field really the entire second quarter. Niagara Falls, we are doing a great job with both of these coaches. This is the best well-coached football game we've seen this year, I would say.
And now let's send it downstairs. Tyler Millen is with Niagara Falls head coach Don Bass. Tyler?
Coach, how do you generate some better pressure for their quarterback?
Yeah, we're getting blown up in the middle, but we made some switches at halftime and a little more stunting to see what happens.
They've been able to generate some big plays, especially in the run game. How do you better that defensive front?
Well, we have to once we get pressure inside, they're only running up the middle. That's it. So if our linebackers read and Phil, we'll be fine.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Oh, that was easy. Thank you.
See you in the booth.
Thank you very much, Tyler. We'll step aside for one short break. Back for the second half after this on My TV Buffalo. And welcome back. Start of the second half. David Corano sends a nice kick into the night sky. It is returned by Aiden Bakes. He gets past the 30 and then is brought down by a host of Wolverine defenders just past the Lancaster 30. A lot of other action going on this weekend. The Class AA playoff bracket is one of them. We mentioned at the top of our broadcast, Scott, the winner of tonight's matchup faces number 1 Bennett next Friday the 7th at 7 p.m. at Ojai Stadium. Orchard Park Hutch Tech, Jamestown Lockport. The other 2 quarterfinal matchups. Those two winners meet in the semifinal next Friday. And then November 14th, Highmark Stadium, believed to be an 8 p.m. kickoff, the Class AA Championship at the home of the Buffalo Bills. As the Legends start this drive, Daniel Ahern trying to get the Legends back to Highmark. Lancaster has made it to the stadium 9 consecutive seasons.
Well, you heard Coach Bass in our coming out of the halftime interview talk about that they were going to make some adjustments on the inside. Well, that's the first time they've stopped Ahern for an inside run. That's the second time they've done it. Great adjustments by Niagara Falls so far. You see, one of the adjustments, you're seeing pinch, and now you're going to have to see a bounce to the outside. They've been bringing that outside tackle on the inside. now you're going to have to see them adjust their blocking patterns.
So third down coming up as the Lancaster Legends won their very first title at Rich Stadium in 1988. As you can see, 1999, that long drought that ended in 2016. The Legends trying to get back as this is an incomplete pass. 1988, a grand total of 8 championships since then for the Lancaster Legends.
What a tremendous first opening series for Niagara Falls. That is probably the most dominant you've seen. That is the first time that we have seen a 3-and-out of Lancaster all night long. Great adjustments, and now you're going to get to see what Coach Rupp and his staff will do coming out in the next series.
So the Legends in punt formation. 2 men back for the Wolverines as Matt King check that Everett fix on the punt this time. A bounce that ricochets right to the Wolverines' 30-yard line. And once again, a big, strong start for Niagara Falls on defense. That leads us to a reminder coming up in the fourth quarter. Our school bus stop of the game presented by NHTSA. We've seen a couple of big plays defensively.
Yeah, and I think that not only did they probably make good adjustments on defense, but Niagara Falls knows that they have the matchups. They have the talent at wide receiver, at quarterback, at running back, and if they can get those matchups out here, you're going to see some more big plays by Niagara Falls like you did in the first half.
Michael Taylor in the shotgun. Takes the snap, pitch to the left. Now here on the return, Wolverines able to get to the outside with Mike King Dolson, who is knocked out of bounds just shy of the 35.
Now that particular formation gave them leverage to the outside. You've only seen them go to the left side twice so far in the first half. But right now you're seeing their adjustments are to get that leverage, to get their guys out on the boundary. Really nice job so far on the first play call of the second half. Great job. We got the edge. Wide receiver was smart, took his hands off of him. We've seen enough of that this season, haven't we, where we've seen the hands come outside the frame of the body? Not that time. Good opening, 4-yard carry. Puts him in the second medium.
Wolverines jumped out to a 3-1 start on the year as Taylor's pass is knocked down. Incomplete. 5-point loss to Bennett back in week 1. Then 3 straight wins against Williamsville North, Niagara Wheatfield, and then a close one in a Niagara County showdown with Lockport in week 4, 28-26. Wolverines coming in at 4-4 on the season tonight, and now face 3rd and long.
Yeah, you had a really nice game going on by Tim Kopaz so far. We haven't been saying his name a lot, but he's very, he's obviously out there. Bringing some good pressure, batted that ball down. He's a big time athlete. Look at the length on that guy. I mean, that's somebody that you want to see play at the next level for sure.
Kopaz and the Legends 6-2 record so far, 4-2 in Class AA in the regular season. As Taylor rolls towards the Lancaster sideline, throws it up. A good effort, but incomplete. Good effort on the near sideline from Christian Palmer, but incomplete, and 4th down coming up.
Brought some great pressure by number 44, Tuber, and I said earlier in the day that he's wearing the number that Andreessen wore, but no, that's not the case. He's wearing the number that Joe Andreessen is wearing now for the Buffalo Bills. He looked a little like Andreessen on that one. That was a great job, great hustle, good pressure all around.
And to clarify, Andreessen wore number 12.
Wore number 12.
Lancaster.
And trust me, up here in this Legends box, somebody was quick to tell me Andreessen did not wear 44, sir. He wore number 12.
So the Wolverines now in punt formation. Here is the punt line drive, and good. Couple bounces out of bounds. And Lancaster will take the football once again when we come back. Still a 1-point game early in the 3rd quarter. You are watching the Law Office of William Attar's Thursday Night Lights presented by Stellar Roofing right here on MyTV Buffalo. And welcome back. Lancaster starting its new drive on offense. No gain on the run from Ahern. Or Monty Morris on the stop. 2nd and 10 coming up. Matt King in the shotgun. Legends on their own 44. The pass to the near side is caught by Aiden Banks. He makes his way past midfield and knocked down from behind. A heads-up play defensively from Billy Brass, getting him by his cleat.
Still a tremendous gain. This is, if they take away your inside, that means they brought more people in. Go where they don't have the leverage, which is outside. Get it to the sideline. Great blocking on the outside by the perimeter by the wide receiver. First down.
Up to the 45, another big run. Daniel Ahern gets the call, and then he is stopped by Lucas Miller.
Now, in our coaching vernacular, you are now back to the top of your script. The motion across, the pull from the backside, that's a great power, and that's the money from that very first series that we saw. Lancaster's going to get back on script here now with the middle runs.
Ahern gets the call, gets enough for another Lancaster first down. Brought to you by Interstate Batteries. Another good run. The clock continues to move here. Under 9 minutes left in the third. And Daniel Ahern, we mentioned he has been the star running back all season. Scored his 13th rushing score of the year back in the first half. Averaging 7.6 yards per carry coming into tonight. And he has had a great senior campaign for the Legends as King goes for a deep ball on the near side. It is broken up in the secondary by the Niagara Falls man, Daryl Smith, on the coverage. And now 2nd down coming up.
Now, this is a great coverage. This is textbook. He pushes his guy, slides his guy to the sideline, looks back, has a hand extended, going for the football. You can't teach it any better than that. That's tremendous job by that DB.
Don Bass said that Daryl Smith is an extraordinary receiver, but his play in the secondary is a bigger strength for him. As 2nd and 10 from the 34, King drops back the pass. He looks towards the outside, throwing a moonshot, almost intercepted by the Wolverines. Christian Palmer was in the secondary. He is now a little shaken up, able to get over to the sideline. Lancaster with the deep ball, and 3rd down coming up.
I got to, hand it. They're down 7-6 right now, but the DBs for Niagara Falls, no one has gotten behind him except one time off of a play-action pass. That's almost an interception. 2 guys over the top. They're really well coached, and they're playing disciplined football. Looking back, not taking the stupid penalty, and no one is getting open.
And King's pass is caught on the far sideline. Legends now to the Wolverines' 15-yard line. Everett Fix, the sophomore, with a big-time play and another first down. Brought to you by Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable.
And this is where you know that he's really well coached, because you see the guy that was in coverage limping. Did they hesitate but go right at him again? And that is great coaching. That quick, they process information up here and put it out there. Shows you how well trained the Lancaster offense is. It's a well-oiled machine with Ahern as the piston. Look at this guy.
Ahern once again as Lancaster is inside the Wilby Insurance red zone. Wilby will when nobody will. As Ahern gets the call, as you can see, getting some help from the left side of his offensive line that time. For the Legends, we'll give credit to Ethan Ludwig, Gavin Smith teaming up. It's 2nd and 6 at the 12. Ahern bumps off one man, and then he is ripped down at the 10-yard line. Paul Harris getting a tackle here. 3rd down coming up.
Lancaster is really good at using up-tempo play calls. The offensive line is mobile. They've been pulling almost about 75% of the inside runs, and they're doing it at the same play with pulling the fullback. Or putting the tight end in there. It's really great scheme.
Matt King on the QB keeper gets close to the 5-yard line. Kayvon Agee is on the stop, number 55. This could be close, either 1st and goal or 4th and inches, as we take a look at the run again.
and we're looking at a Q ISO, and it's a great job. A lead blocker here. We talked about him on defense, but he's also coming in. Tubner comes in and plays a vital role in that fullback and that 4-yard gain there.
So a stoppage on the field. 6:38 to go in this third quarter. As we are taking a look now at the measurement, this will either be 4th and short or enough for a 1st and goal for Lancaster. Chain gang battling the elements here in Lancaster. And it is enough for a Legends first down, brought to you by Interstate Batteries. So the Legends are able to keep this drive going. And while we have a chance, tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Buffalo Fresh Roof. 1st and goal for the Legends. Now at the 6, King on the QB keeper. Gets close to the goal line, dives forward, and is short of the goal line for Matthew King.
This is a really good scheme. Bring one more to the party than the defense has, and this is what they've done. They're leading with the fullback, allowing the quarterback to take some of the pressure off of Ahern and getting down in there. You're in short yardage now. Give it to your big guy and let him sort it out.
Here's Adolf Ahern finding the open space for the touchdown from 4 yards out. Ahern, his 2nd score of the night, and it's brought to you by ECMC. Go where the Bills go.
Well, look at the adjustment that you see here. You're taking a great job pulling the front side, motion. Everything that they did in that entire series was involved in that key play. They ran that A-gap 4 times in a row with 4 different looks, and they knew they had to bring an extra hat to it because of the adjustments that Don Bass made at halftime that stopped them in the first series 3 and out. Really great job by this offense to just keep the layering and the tempo and find a way to stay true to what got them there to begin with this lead so far.
Christian Schlesinger ready to attempt the extra point. Low snap, a throw to the outside. It is incomplete for the 2-point try. That Chase Sagliani made the throw. Incomplete. And that keeps our score Lancaster in front of Niagara Falls 13-6. We'll be right back with more action right here on My TV Buffalo. And welcome back. Tonight's food sponsor is Smokin' Little Diner, located at 4870 Broadway. Call 716-683-9248 or visit www.thesmokinglittlediner.com. Great barbecue that we had before tonight's contest. Big thanks to them.
I don't know. You brought your own sandwich. I got to eat, No, I'm just joking. It was wonderful. It was really good.
Wolverines on the return, getting to the outside is Morris, looking for some space, and he gets shoved out of bounds past the Wolverines' 40-yard line.
Great field position. Now you've got to eat up some of the clock. You've got to reestablish, give your defense a little time on the sideline, because that was a great, powerful drive that wore them down a little bit inside the red zone. So, that was a great drive by Lancaster. Let's see, like we saw earlier, if Niagara Falls can. Now, Don Bass on the sideline has got to have his best 2 or 3 plays for 2-point conversions, because that's going to be the difference in the game to tie everything up. No more field goals, no more extra points.
Ball is spotted on the Wolverines' 44-yard line. Here's the snap. Dolson gets the carry, and he is met right at the line of scrimmage by Braden Klinger. Klinger, one of the top defensive players on the Legends, as well as in Western New York, second on the team in tackles with 58 coming into tonight, and he gets that stop. Dolson, however, gets a gain of 1.
6'4", 225 pounds. You've got him and you've got Topaz. This Lancaster team is pretty stacked. And with the way they're playing tonight, if they win the game, I think they have a chance against Bennett. But Niagara Falls is not going anywhere right now. They're still in this football game.
Taylor looks, steps up, takes it himself, makes his way close to midfield. A good run from Taylor, brought down by Justin Tubner. Close to midfield, and now third in a manageable 5, coming up with under 5 minutes to go in the third.
Yeah, and they're starting to rely on their offensive line a little bit. Now you're going to see some type of play action pass, some type of misdirection. They're going to get their quarterback out of the pocket and try to get a matchup either to the boundary, which they've done well so far with the running back out, but you got some height out here on the field side of the ball. They got a lot of opportunities here.
Legend showing pressure. Taylor looks over the middle. It is incomplete and almost intercepted by Nataro as Catino Woods, the intended receiver, ball went off of him. Nataro was right there, but just missed it. 4th down coming up.
Now, we talked about adjustments at halftime. You saw the left side blitz that didn't get there the last time when it went for a 93-yard touchdown pass. This was a double blitz in the middle that brought a lot of pressure up the middle, and just a great job by Lancaster to keep this at a 4th and 5.
Wolverines keeping their offense on the field. Legends just tipped a pass, trying for another stop. Wolverines trying to keep this drive going, trailing by 7. Taylor looks to the outside, and it is low and incomplete. The intended receiver was Daryl Smith, and it's a turnover on downs.
Well, that was almost one of those that you had to have because Lancaster is starting to get into a groove. You initially stopped their inside run, but now you've got to dedicate more resources to make sure that run doesn't eat up the rest of the clock.
Deflected for a second time. Great work from our replay crew as Justin Tubner had a piece of it. And now Lancaster takes over on the 49-yard line. On the Niagara Falls 49. High snap, recovered by King. The handoff. Ahert spins to his left, taking a pair of defenders with him past the 45. And then Jason Miller able to get the stop.
Nice tackle by Armani Morris, but Armani's got to be careful. Armani's got to be careful because this is the second time I've watched him leave his feet and lead with his shoulder. And if they saw that, that's another penalty that right now Niagara Falls cannot afford to have.
Ahern gets the call again, gets some help from the right side of his offensive line, gets close to the Wolverines' 35-yard line. It's enough for a first down, brought to you by Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. And dependable is a word we could use, Scott, for Daniel Ahern.
Well, what you're going to see now is you're starting to see the secondary creep up under 10 yards. You're going to see a play-action pass here to an underused tight end, potentially here.
1st and 10 to the 36. Ahern gets the call. Knocked down quickly, just past the line of scrimmage. Mike King Dolson on the stop as we are under 3 minutes to play in the third.
Then this is exactly what, Coach Rupp is known for. He's known for, not only does he have some great plays, but he knows when to settle in and rely on his horses. And while it's an up-tempo deal, it's still draining the clock right now every time you run that football.
Ahern on the carry. It's one move and then is brought down quickly by the Wolverines defense. Clock continues to tick as Ahern gets the stop, going to bring up 2nd and 8. Check that 3rd and 6.
We haven't talked too much about the offensive line up front, but Lancaster's O-line is doing a great job. The D-line in Niagara Falls is playing tough. This is just a real great slobber knocker, you know what I mean?
King gets the outside. It is almost intercepted by the Wolverines. Bradley Miller just in and out of his hands.
And that would have been one of those momentum shifting interceptions. But look at this is a great game, isn't it? Not a lot of mental mistakes happening, not a lot of physical breakdowns, just really good play calling. The protection is fantastic. Quarterback puts it out there. I'll tell you, this is just a really good football game, highly competitive. Love what I'm seeing here tonight by both teams.
Lancaster keeping its offense on the field, 4th and 6 at the Niagara Falls 32. King rolls out, throws on his back foot. A screen pass caught by Ahern, goes down the sideline, still has the open space and hit hard inside the 10-yard line. A huge hit from Armani Morris. And now Lancaster has an injured player.
Monty is a really physical guy, but again, this is something that, I'm not going to say that he's not a hard hitter, but again, this is something that they've been watching, this entire season, is leading with the shoulder, but it was a great hit, lowered his shoulder, and hey, I'll tell you what, Ahern's as physical as they come, but not too many people could take shots to the head like that. That's an unfortunate situation.
Ahern is now walking around. His helmet is off. Getting some assistance from the athletic trainer tonight. And now Ahern making his way to the sideline. Big part of this senior group for the Legends. We mentioned he has 2 touchdowns to date, 12-yard run in the first, and then a 4-yard score earlier in this third quarter. As we take a look once again at that hit.
Yeah, that's a big hit by that young man, and I hope he's all right. But they really have to check him on the sideline for a dinger. He's got a long career way beyond this game, and I hope he's all right. Hope he gets cleared to come back out. But he took a heck of a shot there.
1st and goal now for the Legends at the 9-yard line. A carry, short carry, going inside the 5-yard line. Justin Tubner now gets the call as we are under 90 seconds to go in this third quarter. As we now have more whistles. Another injured player down for the Legends.
Now, Gavin Smith has been playing hard all day long. But you know what? I saw him in the first half. He's been playing a little dinged up himself, I believe. I don't know if he just took a punch to the face or hands to under the face mask. Hopefully it's not too much.
So 1:25 left in the third quarter.
When you talk about old style football, right? Legendary football. Look at the muddy jersey. I mean, this is some slobber knocker football going on between these two. Great game.
So many classic games here in Lancaster.
Look at that kid. That kid's an offensive lineman, bro. Look at that noggin. He's an offensive lineman.
Field named after Joe Foyle, who was a longtime coach here at Lancaster. It's a QB snap now for Matt King, and he is brought down quickly by Smith. Chase Lowry, beg your pardon, on the stop. 2nd and goal as we have reached the final 60 seconds of this third quarter. 3rd and goal coming up.
Great job by what we call clean jerseys. A young man that comes on, isn't all speckled up, makes a big play down here. Good work.
King in the shotgun with Tubner on his left hip. King, QB keeper, goes up, finds the space, dives in, and he is in for the touchdown. The quarterback, Matt King, taking the score, which is brought to you by ECMC Go, where the Bills go. Matt King from 6 yards out.
They have run off that left side A-gap the entire game. Credit to Don Bass early on in the third quarter when he was able to stop them on the first series, but they've reestablished that run in a myriad of ways. And great drive. Tremendous clock management by Lancaster in this last series.
It was a 7-6 lead for Lancaster at halftime.
Right of snap, encroachment on the defense, half the distance of the goal. Replay the try. So let's hit the 1.5, guys.
And now the Legends, at the moment, 12 unanswered. And now all 3 scores, Scott, through the running game. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and you got to hand it to the left side of that line, the entire line. The line has been pulling. The line, they bring everybody to that left side B gap, or that's where they're really hitting it hard. A gap, B gap. Credit to the center guard and the entire offensive line so far of Lancaster. It's been sloppy, and we've been focusing on the skills, but Lancaster's O-line has been the better of the 2 tonight and more active, at least in the second half.
So the lead is now up to 14 as Matt King fired up on the sideline, able to get the score. Matt King with his 5th rushing score of the season, diving forward, doing everything he can for his Legends this year.
Well, that's the 8th time they've run this lead with a fullback or an offensive lineman coming in, and every single time all it is about sealing off so you can get the bigger, lankier quarterback, and you're not going to stop that 6'2", 6'3" frame from going into the end zone. Is he that tall?
Matt King is 6'3",
okay,
220 pounds. And he has just been a part of a long line of successful quarterbacks here at Lancaster. As the Legends, with Schlesinger, a short kick, it is checked down by the up man, Logan Best, one of the newcomers, one of the JV call-ups on special teams. And the Wolverines, 32 seconds left in this quarter, have really good field position here.
I'll tell you. But again, we talk about the coaching, right? How does Rupp go? He sees a clean jersey, knows it's a JV guy, and he takes the shot to have his seasoned kicker kick it right at the kid. That's something you got to know. They got to pat him on the side of his helmet, because that could have been a mean onside kick. Tremendous job by Rupp seeing it, but even a better job by that young man coming up from JV to secure the ball and do exactly what he was supposed to do, as he'd been trained to do.
Spread offense again for the Wolverines. Taylor in the shotgun. He recovers the snap, little slippage, then steps up in the pocket, past the 45, and gets all the way past the Legends 40, close to the Legends 35. A good run on the QB keeper from Michael Taylor.
Well, I know it's incidental, but we're seeing a lot of forearms, shoulders to the head, a little helmet-to-helmet stuff going on here. I know we're just playing good football, but boy, this is a physical game, is it not?
Absolutely. We mentioned how close the regular season meeting was. Only a one-score game at halftime. Lancaster was in the lead. This game is far from over as we have an injury timeout on the field. With under 10 seconds, the clock is now back in running, as there was a player from Niagara Falls down. He is walking towards the sideline, and that will end our third quarter of play. Lancaster on top of Niagara Falls by 14. We're back for the fourth quarter after this short break on MyTV Buffalo. Start of the fourth quarter, Niagara Falls in Lancaster territory, trailing 20-6. Joe Kraus, Scott Pilkey, Tyler Millen on the sideline with you tonight as Taylor steps up in the pocket, then throws on the run. It is caught by the Wolverines on the far sideline. What a play from Charles Conji, the senior.
Big players make big plays, and that might be one of the biggest. The quarterback stepped up, had pressure, never took his eyes off down the field, and delivered a tremendous throw. That is a huge play for them down here, keeping this drive alive.
Gain of 17 on the pass play. It'll set up 1st and 10 at the Lancaster 20-yard line. This is an Express Windows first down, now installing Windows as low as $329 within 5 to 6 weeks. Wolverines also in the red zone here. It's Taylor back in the shotgun, 2 receivers on his right. Here is the snap. Taylor goes over the middle. It is intercepted by the Lancaster defense. Parker Waite going down the sideline, and the Legends getting a huge turnover from the defense. Parker Waite recording his 2nd interception of the season and the 10th for the Legends defense. A big one to start the fourth quarter.
Well, that was just a really good job. The quarterback, for the first time probably all night long, did not take his eyes off his intended receiver, and that allowed the young man to break from the safety spot. Tremendous coverage by the other side, but even a better break on the football. He's got a nose for it, and that really took a lot of pressure off of Lancaster. That's what they needed down here right now, because that momentum that Niagara Falls was starting to create was something that probably at least would have put them back in 7.
So the Legends take over on their own 22-yard line. King with the handoff to Ahern, and Ahern is stopped just close, just beyond the line of scrimmage, as Jason Miller and then Chase Lowry too on the stop.
You're going to start to see Lancaster slow the tempo down here a little bit, try to eat up some clock, little check with me action. I don't know if you're going to see their guy coming back in.
Tubner with the last carry.
Looks like Ahern is done for the night.
2nd and 9. Tubner gets the call once again, taking a couple of defenders with him past the 25-yard line. So Justin Tubner getting a couple of carries, 2 rushing scores so far on the season. He scored against Hutch Tech in week 4, and then in week 5 against Lockport. As Tubner is in, and Daniel Ahern still getting monitored on the sideline. His team is up by 2 scores. 3rd and 4 coming up at the Legends 28, and now a flag comes in.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Well, you know why Ahern's over with the trainer, because the trainer sometimes has to keep an eye on the most competitive guys, because if you're not standing there saying you're not going back in, son, somebody might grab a helmet and run back out on the field. It's just, that's the nature of the competitor. And he's over with the trainer now, and hopefully he's all right.
Third and 9, King with an empty backfield. He looks, steps in, then fires a deep ball over the field, and it is almost intercepted just out of the hands of Christian Palmer. Palmer in the secondary. Another deep ball, but incomplete.
He has been consistent all day. I really like the way he's played. He's 5'7", 120 pounds. Not an ideal body for the free safety, but boy, nothing has gotten behind him all night. And when it did, he was able to go up and take it down. The secondary play has been exemplary by Niagara Falls today.
Palmer getting checked out on the sideline as the Legends set a nice high punt. Takes a bounce at midfield, and the Wolverines will have great field position once again when we come back. Winding down in the fourth quarter, it's a 2-score game. We're back with more on My TV Buffalo. And we are back here at Lancaster High School. Some whistles on the field. First and 10 for Niagara Falls after the reset. Wolverines right at midfield. It's a handoff. Dolson finds his way up the seam, spins past the 35, still on his feet past the 30. It's going to take 3, 4, 5 defenders for Lancaster to take down Mike King Dolson. A huge run from the running back.
Yeah, one of the things you really like seeing is Jaden Baston, who's a 10th grader. Look how he's downfield. Look at this kid run downfield, still working. That's the type of stuff. That's a 10th grader. That's probably a kid they just brought up from the JV, and he's downfield doing what he's supposed to do. That's a great job by that young man.
Another big run all the way to the 26-yard line. It's an Express Windows first down for Niagara Falls. Dolson well over now 600 yards rushing on the season as Taylor looks towards the near sideline and steps up, and he is brought down once again by the Lancaster defense. A huge play coming up this time by Blake Osika, check that, Tim Kopaz, able to get the stop. Tim Kopaz able to make it 2nd and 12 coming up. And once again, as we do every week, coming up after tonight's contest, stay here as the Law Office of William Matar Thursday Night Lights trophies. The trophy will be presented, and it is designed by Southtown's Trophy. Taylor takes the snap, rolls to his right. On the run, it is low. It hit the ground. It is incomplete. Daryl Smith, the intended receiver.
There's been a great battle going on all night long between the left tackle, Agee, and Braden Klinger. These guys are really putting on a show. Agee is got great footwork. He's a big dude, 6'4", 295 pounds, and honestly, a very athletic left tackle. And to go against Klinger, Klinger's no joke, but he's dwarfed in size compared to Agee. But both of these guys are great players. It's been fun to watch all night long.
We have an injury timeout from the Wolverines on the far sideline with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Braden Klinger listed at 6'4", 225 pounds for Lancaster. Kayvon Agee listed at 6'4", 295 pounds. Now let's take a look at the school bus stop of the game presented by NHTSA. Always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Not stopping or trying to beat the stop arm puts lives at risk and can result in large fines, points on your license, and license suspension.
This is the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
And here is the play from Parker Waite, getting the interception, the 10th pick of the year for the Legends as this goes over the middle. Parker Waite able to make the big play that started early in the fourth quarter, and that is our stop of the game from NHTSA.
This is the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
So Parker Waite back in the secondary again. He and Lancaster facing 3rd and 12 on defense. Niagara Falls and Michael Taylor trying to get a strike in the end zone, trailing by 2 scores. Taylor with the screen pass is complete to Dolson, squirms his way forward, and then brought down by Cole Urban, close to the Legends' 20-yard line.
Lancaster's everywhere. You've got Tubner, you've got Klinger, Kopaz. They've got a really great. Look at these guys spend all year in the weight room. They've got a lot of future college greats on this defense right now, and on the offensive side of the ball at Niagara Falls.
4th and 6 coming up for the Wolverines. Just over 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Michael Taylor in the shotgun. Wolverines need to get to the 16. Taylor on the run to the outside. It is a low pass. Was it caught? The Legends appear to say that Parkway caught it. But let's just see. It was ruled out incomplete. Now a discussion. Scott, what did you see?
Well,
incomplete.
His arm was hit as he was throwing the ball. You know, you got to give him a lot of credit. He stays in the pocket, and he was trying to let something open up, but his arm got hit just a little bit later. That was not an interception, but just another tremendous job by the Lancaster defense.
So a turnover on downs, but 7:04 left to play in this fourth quarter. As we take a look again, the ball just bouncing in front of Parker Wade. And the Legends take over. 1st and 10 at the 22. Matt King is in the shotgun. King with the snap. It's a handoff, and the Legends get a couple yards with Justin Tubner. So we have a big game coming up on Saturday right here on MyTV Buffalo. It is the big matchup in the Monsignor Martin. The Canisius Crusaders hit the road to Ethel Springs to take on the St. Francis Red Raiders. Myself, Tom Prince, on the call at 7:30 p.m. right here on MyTV Buffalo.
And I just to say, I've had a really great time working with you this year. I would have been doing that call, but over at Erie Community College, we have a little bit of a football game, too, that determines whether we play for the national championship or not. So, but great job working with you this year. You're a real pro at it, brother.
Thanks, partner, as another big run. But you have seen Canisius at St. Francis this year. Canisius, Elijah Kimball in the backfield. St. Francis with their new quarterback, Trent Buttles, only a junior. What do you like about the matchup from the outside, Canisius and St. Francis?
Well, the coaching is they've got both of them have great players, but I don't think you can talk about it without talking about Smith and Krasansky. I mean, those guys are just two of the, perennial powerhouses in Western New York, and that's going to be a great game to call. I wish I could be there, but I'm going to be at Erie Community College at noon at Williamsville South.
So again, that is 7:30 Saturday night. Canisius and St. Francis, the Crusaders and the Red Raiders. Jerry Smith, Craig Krasansky, currently 2nd and 3rd in wins among all active coaches in Western New York. Kurt Fisher at Falconer is currently at number 1. But a big matchup, as we said. As we have just over 5 minutes left here, 4th and short. Legends are at punt formation, getting closer to that semifinal matchup next Friday at All High, back at All High against the Bennett Tigers.
Just think of how long we talked about our game on Saturday, how long somebody like Jerry Smith has been coaching at St. Francis, and he just got his 200th win. And now you were talking about Coach Rupp, who's been here since, 16, and he's already accumulated nearly 93 wins, correct?
Lancaster.
Amazing job that they're doing here at Lancaster.
Tonight, Eric Rupp is closing in, wrapping up his 107th game on the Lancaster sidelines. 89 wins at the moment as a timeout was called. Still a 2-score game. It was 7-6 at halftime, and then Lancaster with a rushing score from Daniel Ahern, and then Matt King getting the next rushing play for our current 20-6 lead. As we take a look once again at the Class AA playoff bracket, you can see the winner of this one travels to All High Stadium next Friday to take on number 1 Bennett, Orchard Park, Hutch Tech, Jamestown, Lockport. Those are your other Class AA quarterfinal matchups. Those two winners also advance to the AA semifinal number 2 at 7 p.m. And then the big one at Highmark Stadium, the last time in the current home of the Buffalo Bills, the Section 6 Class AA Championship on the 14th of November at 8 p.m. This is another really strong punt from the Legends, doing well in all 3 facets of the game with 4:42 left to go.
Yeah, very, very few mental mistakes, very few penalties, really great adjustments based off of what Niagara Falls does well. Tremendous, tremendous game here we've seen tonight.
We'll step aside and come right back on MyTV Buffalo. Tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Buffalo Fresh Roof. Lancaster faithful still on hand. It was a cold and wet night here for the Class AA quarterfinal. 4:42 left to play. Current temperature of 47 degrees. Rain is in the vicinity as Taylor fires over the middle. It is caught by the Wolverines, spinning past the 40-yard line and trying to get every single yard, and still fighting in this one. Daryl Smith all the way to the Wolverines 40. Big play from Niagara Falls. Another first down for the blue and gold as Taylor is able to get the throw off, had some pressure, and then Daryl Smith fighting his way here in his senior campaign for the Wolverines. The ball now at the 41. Gain of 11 for another Express Windows first down. Taylor takes the snap. He steps, fires to the outside, incomplete, well out of the reach of Christian Palmer.
Well, you know, in that previous play now, we have seen 2 times that his arm has been hit. And what that means is that the defensive line is very well versed. When you have that hand down, you come through on your rip, and you rip up to the ceiling with your hand. If you cannot get to the quarterback, you at least get your arm in the way of his passing throw. They've done a beautiful job with this all night long, coming up with that long dudes up the middle and just getting in his face, and it's disrupting his natural throwing motion. But this is a great football game, guys.
Taylor over the middle and incomplete off the hand of the Wolverines receiver. Parker Waite was right there again in the Lancaster secondary. Third down coming up as Catino Woods had a catch early on in this ball game. Just can't bring it down.
But what a Falls is a really good job. They've played well all night. You know, times obviously against them right now, but kudos to how well they were prepared, and kudos to Coach Rupp and his staff because they've had a beautiful game plan here today.
3rd and 10. Taylor steps up in the pocket, rolls to his right, still looking downfield, throws this deep ball on the run, but it is incomplete. Palmer, the intended receiver. 4th down coming up, 3:46 to go.
I really like Taylor. I mean, he's a young man that has a strong arm. He's a big fella who can stand in the pocket. He has poise. You know, if he gets to a place at a college level where he can take some time to develop as a quarterback, a little bit more read, a little bit more progression, you know, stepping up into the throw a little bit more. He's got all the intangibles. He's got a big arm, he's got a big body, and he can run a little bit when he's completely healthy. And I think Lancaster should feel, you know, a little relieved that he's playing banged up, and clearly he can't run like he has been all season long. But what a great competitive effort out of both sides of the ball, right?
Wolverines offense still on the field, 4th and 10 at the 42. Taylor goes over the middle. It is caught by the Wolverines. Palmer goes inside the 20. The Wolverines go right back to Christian Palmer. It's a big Express Windows first down.
And I'll tell you what, Palmer is a very tough kid. He's been playing banged up since the end of the 3rd quarter, and he comes in, makes a huge catch. That was a beautifully thrown ball right in the middle of the 3 defenders. That's what you talk about touch. And if he can replicate that at the college level, he's going to be a very, very well-recruited quarterback.
Wolverines back inside the Wilby Insurance red zone. Taylor stepping up, pressure by Kopez, and then he is finally brought down. Credit another sack to Tim Kopez tonight for the Lancaster Legends.
Yeah, and Kopez is a big dude, but Kopez needed a little help to bring that guy down, you know? Watch him step up. He's physical. Even when he's got somebody like Kopez around him, he's still trying to find something to do with the football. That's just an aware, very highly athletic young man.
Timeout was taken by Niagara Falls as SpongeBob SquarePants making an appearance. He'll have to go back to Bikini Bottom soon, but he's spending some time enjoying the Lancaster Legends on top of 20-6. As the Legends, as we take a look at this game recap, take a look at the highlights, Daniel Ahern has been big in this one. He gets the first touchdown of the night from 12 yards out. Michael Taylor with a big bomb to Daryl Smith 93 yards through the air. It was 7-6 at halftime after the Wolverines missed the extra point attempt. And as we take a look at the extra point kick, great block from the Legends on special teams. 2 more rushing scores, second of the night from Daniel Ahern. Bobbled snap, Legends able to get to the outside, but incomplete on the 2-point pass. And then Matt King with the QB keeper for our current 20-6 lead. 2nd and 15 at the Legends 24. As the Wolverines look to Taylor, he throws over the middle again, and it is caught in the end zone for the touchdown. Daryl Smith on the receiving end from 24 yards out. It is a Kaleida Health touchdown, the official healthcare provider of the Buffalo Bills. Wow, what a play.
This game isn't over. If they can get a 2-point conversion here, they're in a position to potentially win the football game if they can get the onside kick. And these guys have good enough athletes to do that. I mean, look, we're not counting them out, but we're looking at the clock against them. There's still 3 minutes left. The defense is playing well, a key turnover, but they got to get the 2-point conversion here, obviously.
2:57 left. Wolverines in 2-point conversion. Here is the play. It is up the middle. Wolverines trying to cash it through, and they do. And we are down to a 6-point deficit after Daryl Smith records his second multi-touchdown game of the season. He had 3 back in week 2 against Williams-LaNorth, the biggest score of the season, as we take a look once again.
Look at Michael Taylor. I mean, he throws 2 darts into coverage to only where his guys could go up and get it. That's talent right there, man. Watch it. He just throws it up exactly where his guy's going to get it. That's amazing. He's thrown that ball twice before. One time it was picked. Another time it was batted down and almost picked again. That time they went back to the well, and that time they came away with with a great score. Tremendous drive by Niagara Falls.
Wolverines able to respond as Michael Taylor able to record for the 4th time this season a 2-point touchdown play. He had a season-high 5 against the Will-North Spartans in week 2 as Taylor takes himself on that 2-point run. 20-14 our score.
That's one of the best. I mean, I wouldn't say that he'd be the player of the game up until this point. Ahern is, but he is a tremendous player. But 5 receptions, 156 yards for Daryl Smith and 2 touchdowns. Wow.
Big-time player indeed for the Wolverines. As we are down to a 6-point contest with 2:56 to go. Big kick coming from the senior David Guarino. Here is the kick and whistles before the snap. Full start against the Wolverines before the kick.
Legal procedure, and the kicking team, 5-yard penalty, still had the kick.
This gives these guys, this might be a blessing in disguise because they should have been trying an onside kick rather than a squib kick. This gives them another opportunity to get a pivotal onside kick to have a chance to come back and win this football game. This could be the best penalty they've had all year.
Guarino with a high kick to the outside. It is tracked down, and taking a knee is Chase Sagliani as the rain continues to fall here. The Legends take over 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line with 2:53 to go.
Yeah, well, this is, I got to hand it to Coach Bass. He believes in his defense. They stopped him 3 and out. It's going to be a great work of your time clock and your timeouts to not take a shot there on an intended onside kick. Surprises me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you here.
Matt King in the shotgun. It's a handoff to Tubner. Tubner takes a little leap and then gets close to the 38-yard line. Mike King Dolson on the stop as we're under 3 minutes to go. Matt King with Justin Tubner in the backfield. Two receivers on King's right. Pressure coming from the Wolverines. As King steps in, here's the handoff to Tubner. Makes his way through the traffic and close to the Legends' 40-yard line. The Wolverines get the stop. Paul Harris in on the stop for the Wolverines.
They are, Niagara Falls, to their credit, they're playing some young guys. Number 77 is got to be a young man that they brought up from the JV. He did a really nice job as a pure freshman, 5'9", 270 pounds. His name is Dwayne Olison. That Olison name is very, very, very popular in Western New York. He's got family. His dad's a coach. I believe his relative was one of the great running backs that went on to play at the University of Pittsburgh.
Minor coming up on Saturday, the big one right here on MyTV Buffalo, 7:30 kickoff. Canisius taking on St. Francis. The number 1 seed in the Monsignor Martin postseason tournament is on the line. It'll be a great time Saturday out in Apple Springs. Myself and Tom Prince on the call. Back to the action, 3rd and 4. It is a QB keeper, and the Wolverines able to get down Matt King quickly. It is now 4th down coming up, a timeout taken with 1:55 to go. The Wolverines call their final timeout.
Possibly the biggest stand of the Wolverines season right here. I know we already gave the bus stop of the game, but if they can stop this 4th down here, what do? If you're Coach Rupp, traditionally, I think you punt it, you bury him. Obviously, they've got the ability to go 93 yards like they did, but you don't want to give them the ball here on midfield. So if I'm Rupp, I think I'm punting the ball, burying them, because their special teams, as you said earlier today, has been the difference in this game so far. So been consistent. This is great. I can't wait to see what they're doing now.
So 4th and 3 coming up with under 2 minutes to play. Joe Kraus, Scott Pilkey with you here in Lancaster. Big thanks to everyone on hand behind the scenes for this broadcast, and everyone here at Lancaster High School for their great hospitality here in the press box. As here is the punt just going out of bounds. We've had a great night here at Lancaster Legends football, over 100 years, 106 to be exact, as we are down to the last 144. Niagara Falls with the football. How do you do this, Scott, with Coach Don Bass? Michael Taylor, a really strong night. How do you counter this offensive drive?
You go Wolverines? 4 to one side, and Michael Taylor 1-on-1 to the other side, and you got to get him in a 1-on-1 matchup. You've got 4 shots. Get a 1st down, get the ball out of bounds if you can. But this is great. This is exactly what we want to end our Thursday night light throughout this week. This is tremendous. What a great football game.
1st and 10 at the Wolverines' 17-yard line. The Lancaster faithful on their feet. Taylor in the shotgun. One man on his right hip, and now a motion man. Here is Taylor on the run. Screen pass caught by Dolson. Golson gets some help. Dolson keeps the feet moving, and then he is knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. There is a Lancaster Legend down after the play. 1:32 left to go.
Just a tremendous poise by that guy the entire game. Puts the ball where it's supposed to, gets his guy out in space, and he gets out of bounds, saving, obviously, they don't have any more timeouts. Really great play. Nice little chip block there coming back. That's a nice all-around play by Niagara Falls.
And it appears that Josh Okeke was shaken up after the last snap for Lancaster, so we have an injury timeout. 1st and 10 coming up at the 27-yard line for the Wolverines. Niagara Falls looking for another magical moment over the last calendar year. Their baseball team won the city's first Section 6 title since 1999 and went all the way to the state semis for the first time for the city since 1981. So much success on the hardwood as well at Niagara Falls, as Michael Taylor in the shotgun, Josh Okeke on the sideline for the Legends. Dolson on his hip. Taylor takes the snap, rolls, evades the pressure, still on his feet, fires to the outside, and it is incomplete. Close to midfield, Daryl Smith, the intended receiver. Parker Waite in on the secondary for the Legends.
You know, you look at the offensive line, the quarterback extends the play. That's a ball that should have been thrown. Again, you know, he's a tremendous player. You can't take away from what he's done tonight, but that's the person you got to get the ball to with 1:20 something left to go.
Wolverines make their way to the huddle. The winner advances to the Class AA semifinal next Friday against Bennett at All High Stadium in Buffalo. Taylor is in the shotgun. 2 receivers on his right. And then a flag is thrown.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
So the penalty moves the Wolverines back. Now 2nd and 15 on the 22.
Well, I think what you've got to look for is Taylor, everybody's rolling over to him. You know, you've got a really tall drink of water in Catino Woods over here at 6'3", 170 pounds. At least that's what you had on the last look, which was, I think, was advantageous for them at the time before the penalty.
Taylor steps up, still on his feet, past the 30, finds the open space, and then he is brought down all the way at the Wolverines' 44-yard line. Gain of 22. It's enough for a Wolverines first down as we approach the final minute of the 4th quarter. The first down brought to you by Express Windows. Michael Taylor and the Wolverines quickly up to the line of scrimmage. Quick look to the sidelines. Taylor steps back. 55 seconds to go. And then more movement. Looks like the ball came loose, and now a flag comes in.
See, what you want to have there is when they ran up to the line of scrimmage, you want to do kill, slam the ball to the ground. That way you have time to have 2nd down, 3rd down. They still got a good amount of time here.
Penalty was against the Wolverines, as take a quick look at Daryl Smith. 1st and 15 at the 40. Michael Taylor in the shotgun. 2 receivers on his right. Taylor takes the snap. He looks for the deep ball over the middle. It is caught. Catino Woods spinning away, and then he is hit hard. A big play. Huron McTeary was on the catch. Under 30 seconds to go. The clock is still moving. Wolverines need to spike it, and they do. Down to 25 seconds to go. A huge catch from Huron McTeary, the junior.
They've got 2 opportunities here to put it in the end zone. You don't want any more over the middle. Lancaster's going to give you the middle. You're going to throw it deep. This was a great job. Quarterback extends the play, gets it into the hands. This is tremendous job here. And you come up, kill it like they could have done the previous play. Now they've got 2 opportunities to tie this game up and go for the potential win.
2nd and 10 at the Legends 41. Taylor rolls out to his right, throws to the outside, and is almost intercepted by Josh Okeke. It came off of his gloves. A big break for the Wolverines. 3rd down coming up.
That's when you tell Josh it's Okeke. We'll give another play. Sorry, bad joke. It's Halloween. Give me a break.
Let's take a look again at this play, Scott. Just off of the gloves of Josh. The only a sophomore tight end linebacker. Here we go. 17 seconds left, 3rd and 10 at the Legends' 41-yard line.
I guarantee you he can throw the ball that deep.
Taylor in the shotgun, 2 receivers on the right. Taylor rolling out, throws to the outside. It is incomplete. Caught on the sideline, but now 4th down coming up. The catch was out of bounds. Great heads-up play from Lucas Miller. But now here with 10 seconds left, Scott, 4th and 10 at the Lancaster 41.
4 to the right, your best player to the back. Try to hold up, step into the pocket, and let one go to the end zone. That's what you've got here. This is Hail Mary, you know, and it might be Mail too, because if he can deliver the touchdown, see how I correct my own mistakes there, Joe?
4th and 10 at the Legends 41.
What a great football game. This is a legendary football. This one will go down, whichever team wins this game, this one will go down as something they'll remember for the rest of their lives. Trust me on that.
Wolverines need to get to at least a 31, but only 10 seconds left. Taylor rolls out, steps into the pocket, fires to the outside. It is a little bobble. Caught by Smith, Daryl Smith.
Wow.
Able to make the play.
1
4
play
seconds left. Yeah,
One
you said
play
it.
left. Wow. That's awesome.
Enough for an Express Windows first down. Now installing windows as low as $329 within 5 to 6 weeks. It is now 1st and 10 for the Wolverines of Niagara Falls at the Lancaster 30 with 4 seconds left.
That was a great job of pass pro by that offensive line, and now let's just see what they've got. One Hail Mary, baby.
Empty backfield for the Wolverines. Motion man for the Wolverines. Taylor steps, throws to the outside, looking for the deep ball.
Touchdown!
It is caught. No, just out of the hands of Daryl Smith.
Wow.
And that is how tonight's contest will end. It looked
Wow.
like Smith had it, but
It really did.
Just came out, and Lancaster holds on, advances to the Class AA semifinal, 20-14, the final score.
Yeah.
Just in and out of the hands.
Yep. And that's some. And right now, that's what you're looking at here. That look at the gamesmanship. In the end, it's about playing and being what a great game, guys. Great game.
Taking a look again, and it just went out as Smith went out of bounds.
Wow. That's the guy you wanted to have it to, you know. I mean, that's the guy. It couldn't have drawn it up better. And, you know, the good part is, while he is having a moment where he couldn't come up with one, he's going to have a lot of great moments at the next level. And they wouldn't have been where they are today without him. So, you know, you can't you're not going to be able to get that sadness out of these guys for a little bit. But what a great football game, huh? That's Western New York football at its best right there.
We'll step aside for a short break. You're watching My TV Buffalo. Welcome back. Our final score in the Section 6 Class AA quarterfinal. Lancaster takes down Niagara Falls in a thriller, 20-14. A big victory for the Legends. A big one here is, once again, myself, Joe Kraus, and Scott Pilkey. What a finish in this one. A huge victory for the Legends.
Yeah, I mean, just a fight back and forth, and it's going to be a great one for Lancaster going forward to see Bennett. Let's see how they accept this trophy down in the field.
And let's send it downstairs. Tyler Millen is with head coach Eric Rupp and the Lancaster Legends. Tyler?
Coach, a wild finish to this one. What impressed you about your guys' resiliency to pull it out in the end?
Yeah, it wasn't our best performance, but I give a lot of credit to Niagara Falls and Coach Bass. He's a great coach. But the playoffs comes down to grit, and our guys battled to the end, and they made big plays when they had to.
You guys get Bennett next week. What excites you about that matchup?
Opportunity. They're a great team, and we got to go into all high, which is not easy, but we'll be ready to go.
Coach, guys, congratulations. This is for you guys. Yeah. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Tyler Millen on the sidelines. The Legends starting to get a little bit into the celebration. Once again, the final score, 20-14 over Niagara Falls. And Scott, before we close this out, just your thoughts and looking ahead, a rematch. The two teams, Lancaster and Bennett, met back in Week 7. It was a big win for the Tigers. But your thoughts after seeing Lancaster, how do they take this momentum into next week?
Well, I hope they get I hope they get Ahern back. That's a big kid. They got to have him at full go next week. But I think that this team is peaking at the right time, and I think that you're going to have a heck of a matchup next week between those two powerhouses.
Lancaster one step closer to clinching their 9th Section 6 title since 1988. The first step is done. A 20-14 win over Niagara Falls. And once a reminder, we'll have more action. If this wasn't exciting enough, we'll be back in action on Saturday night at 7:30. The Canisius Crusaders against the St. Francis Red Raiders. Myself and Tom Prince are on the call, along with the rest of our great crew working behind the scenes like they did tonight. Once again, our final score, our last game here on Thursday Night Lights, Lancaster on top of Niagara Falls, 20-14. For Scott Pilkey, Tyler Millen, and our entire crew, this is Joe Kraus signing off. You have been watching the Law Office of William Mattar's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Stellar Roofing on MyTV Buffalo.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, William Mattar, Stellar Roofing, Aesthetic Associates Center, and the University of Buffalo, who through their contributions to the program make these games possible for you viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our 2025 Thursday Night Lights telecasts. And we especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support.